Okay. Let me pull up this one. So this is I got this off of X earlier today. Ethan reveals the H3 Snark bands banded together and hired the same law firm to fight against the subpoena request. So I'll play this 2-minute clip. Let me get this presentation and make sure the sound is on. Okay, there we go. Cool.
Surprised by this. We heard from the legal counsel of a new app, someone who we haven't heard from before. The H3 Snark mods have banded together and hired a boutique law firm located in San Francisco, which makes me raise my eyebrow.
What makes it boutique?
It just means like a small specialized. Okay. They seem like professionals.
Okay,
they usually are.
Yes, a boutique law firm in San Francisco to represent all of them. And the reason they've hired this lawyer is to challenge our subpoena request.
They don't want names.
They're scared.
I think he meant quash, right? Because he sometimes just slips up. I think he meant quash, but I'll give him that one because squash is also enough. Like just it's good enough. It's close enough. It's close enough, Ethan. I gave him shit over saying amendable instead of amenable, but it's all right.
They're scared. Whatever's in there must be bad.
I respect H3 Snark, and I believe that they're being silent.
Shut up, Adam. But the truth is, all we actually are asking for and need is their names so that we can serve them, right? So they're going to have to do this motion to squash, which is very interesting. It's going to essentially, they're going to have to argue on behalf of the three defendants that what they did was not infringement to therefore make themselves ineligible to be subpoenaed. So they have to, it's going to be basically a motion to dismiss in the form of a squash because they have to argue that argument on behalf of them. So it's going to be this is going to happen sooner than all the other stuff, and it's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out because I think it's going to establish where this whole thing is going. Because if the judge says no to that, it's this.
That's literally. I'm going to pause this. Every time he's saying it, I'm literally thinking about squash. Yeah, exactly. Like it's because it's quash. It's quash. It's quash. But
yes, you squash
that.
Yes.
I believe it's the same judge that's on Denham's case.
Yeah, it's going to be the same judge. It's all in that case.
Then that is not looking good for Denham. If the judge grants it, then it's like they don't think we have a case, right? If the judge denies it, it means they're all fucked.
They're
frankly.
fucked, yeah.
And so
that's So that's where we're going with that. Squash aside, what are your thoughts on that, Sean?
Well, they're gonna. I mean, they're better off arguing the contributory copyright infringement isn't there, because making the litigation for the three girls, that's not really going to get them anywhere, I don't think. But they're better off trying to argue, they didn't contributory copyright infringe. But I don't see how you're going to get anywhere because there hasn't been any discovery yet. We're literally at the pleading stage, and the parties that are actually the main parties in this are not saying that they're ready for summary judgment yet. So I don't see how they're going to get anywhere with this. And remember, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because all the girls give up your phones. We subpoenaing all your shit off your phone. I want access to your Reddit account. I mean, so they can fight and moan. Remember, there's multiple ways they're going to get this information. Number one, and then number two, I'm sure Ethan's got his attorney. They're going to do their sneaky stuff. Like you are not invisible on the internet, guys. You are not. And that's why people are like, am I worried about, like when I'm on Twitter, people talk to them like, you could find me in 30 seconds if you want to.
Yeah, exactly.
But I make it that there is protection in being known.
Yes. There is protection being known, there's protection being unknown. And once again, people say, oh, it's try to be invisible. It's like, no, just put a little like a speed bump, right? It's not even a stop, it's not stopping anybody, right? It's like, do you care to actually go find out, right? And if people care to find out, they'll find out, and that's just a reality of the internet, right? But yes, the reality is it's also quash, reject, or void, especially legal procedures. So just so you know, guys, we're educational and entertaining, guys.
I mean, I'm sure Ethan and will bring up, do you have the standing to have to do this?
Well,
I mean,
that's a good
another
question.
issue.
I think they do. I would be on the side of they do because they're parties to the lawsuit. So how would the mods not? I've been
How do
thinking
you
about
know?
this.
How do we know you're a party to the lawsuit? I mean, that's right. Like, look, you're gonna have to tell us who
fair
you
enough.
are.
Yeah,
You're not going to be able to fight. You're not going to
Okay,
be able
fair
to.
enough.
I don't know if they're not going to be able to proceed under a pseudonym at some point because
They will have to.
It's unlike
they will have to
Pixie.
stipulate that.
Yeah,
Yes.
unlike Pixie, we know who Pixie is. Like
Mhm.
Destiny knows. Like now, maybe I am retarded and I'm wrong, but that's the argument I'm doing. Well, I'm sure Ethan's.
Could this be a
slick-
double
slick-
bind for that? I mean, this could be like an Ethan,
Mhm.
like 4D chess move here. Is like
Could
by
be.
them going together into this
Mhm.
law firm, they're gonna have to stipulate that this is indeed them.
Yeah,
Oh, they are so.
I mean,
they
because
totally
if
played themselves.
they're going to claim we didn't engage in contributory copyright infringement, and we didn't do this, we didn't do that, it's like, well, we need to do discovery to find that out. We now have to depose you.
Right.
So now you got to tell me who you are.
Right.
I mean,
right.
I mean, this idea that they're going to jump in like this, like they were sitting there laughing that the judge was never going to grant this.
Mm.
Why wouldn't the judge grant the motion for a subpoena if both sides agree? They have no reason to get involved.
Mm.
If the plaintiff and the defendant agree to something, the judge is never going to get in the way of that. Why?
Yeah.
His life is easier. What do I got to do? Hold on. What? Sign this? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All
Completely.
right, I'm going to golfing. Like they don't.
And at the end of the day, the thing is they're wasting their money. I don't see any way in which they're able to successfully challenge it and not ultimately and lead to subpoenas that would ultimately end up with disclosure. Like I don't see this as a winning move. And by the way, that representation, let's talk about the scope of that representation. I don't think it can go past the subpoena fighting because I think after the subpoena, they each have to get their own attorneys because as we talked about with Casey Tron and Denims, they are adverse to each other. They are really adverse to each other. I think the mods are probably more adverse to each other than Casey Tron and Denims because they are being sued as a collective and we don't know how to portion out the liability. So for the mods, see, for Casey Tron and Denims, they each have their own stream. So you can argue that their scope of liability is limited to what's on their own stream. And those are going to be two separate cases because as much as we like to compare them and contrast them, they are separate people and the details may matter to a judge. A judge theoretically could look at Casey Tron's case and say, well, you did a bad thing, but Denims, I like you, girl. I subbed to your OnlyFans. You're good. I'm gonna let you off.
Yes.
Right. It's theoretically possible that happens with the mods. If they look at the thread as a whole and they say, yeah, the thread is culpable, then they've got to portion that out. And I think that's where there's just you cannot avoid that.
And remember, it's not only just the thread, but what their actions. I mean, basically the way contributory copyright infringement works too, in a way, that's being alleged as a conspiracy almost. So it's not only just what they did right there, but who were they talking to? How did they facilitate it? Once again, who were they talking to? Frogan? Were they talking to Denims? And that Roman P guy or whoever they are? I mentioned this. The way they keep talking on their, the way they were talking on Reddit, they make it sound like they have access to people in charge. It's like, well, who are you? You're very important.
And that's going to be very interesting because I think this could end up really weakening Reddit by the people that think they have access and kind of exposing the fact that Reddit has been run by a very small group of people that have access to the people at the top and have been the only people talking to them and have been controlling the tone of Reddit, the overall direction of Reddit, the climate of Reddit, which we all know, right? Just like Twitch, right? There's certain people that exert extraordinary influence on Twitch, right? Same goes for Reddit. Same goes for a lot of other platforms, right? So, yeah.
And somebody in chat was asking, is this for all the cases? Well, yes, the same information will apply to all the cases. So they don't need to get a subpoena for each case. They've got one that evidence will be admissible in all of them. So,
Yeah, so they're going to be able to get that, and once again, I don't see any situation in which, especially the internal Reddit messages. I can see how. Look, there's going to be some, there may be some confidential or protected or privileged messages on their phones or other things that are not directly attached to Reddit or Discord, but within those platforms, certainly those messages are going to get turned over, right? The internal Discord and Reddit messages are 100% getting turned over.
Yeah. I mean, unless they're talking to like their lawyer, it's going to be,
right.
It's not going to be, it's not going to be privileged. They're not going to have any, especially if it's a group chat or a group message. I don't know if you can do that on Reddit. Then there really is no confidentiality because they're all talking amongst themselves.